the birth of the Raider Dynasty around 20 years later since the birth of the Patriots Dynasty. The Patriot Dynasty began right after they were 5-5 in the month of November following a loss to the Rams on the 18th. The Patriot Dynasty ran the table. The Raiders are 5-4 right now. The Raider Dynasty begins against the Bengals. The first win since the signing of DeSean Jackson is going to be a symbolic tribute to the curse of Bo Jackson. In 1990, Bo Jackson suffers a big hit. He gets knocked out of the game in the divisional round. Some people argue that the Raiders would have won the Super Bowl that year if Bo Jackson did not get hurt. He hurt his hip in that play, and ever since then, for hurting such a gifted athlete, ending a gifted athlete's career, the Bengals have not won a playoff game ever since then. And the Raider Dynasty is going to be born in tribute to Bo Jackson in the 1990-1991 team that reached the AFC title game. What could have been if the Raiders had Bo Jackson? This is all beginning against the Bengals this week. It is the same playbook as the 2001 Patriots, the only difference being 5-4 instead of 5-5, which is better than the Patriots record, but almost identical. This week against the Bengals is when the Raider Dynasty is truly born. Rather, the Vegas Dynasty. As we've said before, the Vegas Dynasty has gematria of Derek Dallas Carr. But after 2 losses, it all begins against the Bengals. Bengals has gematria of 60. Notice how Bengal has gematria of Las Vegas, has gematria of emails. Interesting. It is Bo Jackson that has gematria of the Cincinnati Bengals. It is Bo Jackson that has gematria of Dynasty. It is Ruggs that also has gematria of 27. Kind of fitting that this would be the first win ever since Henry Ruggs DUI incident. They said that he was posted at 156 miles per hour. It is Cincinnati Bengals that has gematria of 156. The Raiders will defeat the Bengals this week to be 6-4 for the season. Kansas City Chiefs, Raider Dynasty beginning after a loss to an arch rival. You can't script it any better to be 6-4. The Antichrist has gematria of 64. The beast has been awoken. The Raider Dynasty has began. At 5-4 for the season. Mark of the Beast, Inglewood, California. Vegas at 5-4 can beat the Bills in the AFC title game if that's where the Allen riddle is heading towards. At the least, the Raiders defeat Allen at some point in the playoffs. Richard Versace, Dynasty, when you least expect it to happen is when it is going to happen. Bengals is a direct match with the Vegas Dynasty. They will defeat a quarterback from Louisiana, Joe Burrow. They say it all began at Colorado, but then Henry Ruggs happened, and so we're hitting a refresh. This was still the first game without John Gruden to end a 38-year championship spell, and the Stan Kroenke Entertainment Enterprises operates in Colorado. The stadium operator, Kroenke Sport and Entertainment, is based in Denver, Colorado. And take a look. The Nation of Israel, Derek Carr, Colorado. The Raiders are going to officially begin this dynasty. And you take a look at Derek Carr in his career. He has won a total of 52 games in his career. He has lost a total of 47 in scripted fashion. Prophecy has gematria 52. Derek Carr has gematria 47. This is why it begins when Derek Carr has 47 losses. What is it? Now you see his career statistics. This begins after 119 games in his career because he didn't play in the playoff game. Shows you what the script is. 119, it's a big number to the elite. Mike Mayock is the general manager. He's from Philadelphia. He now has final say in player personnel matters. He went to college at Boston College, the New England area. That's where the Patriots are from. He was born in Philadelphia. Philadelphia was the last team to win a Super Bowl ever since Tom Brady won. That was Super Bowl 52. Because we have Super Bowl 53, 54, and 55. So, Mike Mayock, being from Philadelphia, references the next time that Tom Brady's going to fail to win the Super Bowl. This is the significance of Mike Mayock being born at Philly. Michael Mayock, all-seeing eye. Master plan after much about 19. I broke down the Illuminati symbolism of the Raider patch and the one all-seeing eye. This is why this all happens after 119 games. It's all very symbolic to the core. Now, what I meant to say with Derek Carr's 47 losses is that this all begins after 47 losses to the AFC. He's at 41 wins right now. He's at win number 42 in the AFC before Dak Prescott on Thanksgiving. Which you get the gematria of Super Bowl, it all starts to make a lot of sense. Now take a look at the email scandal. Washington's first win since the email scandal came against the Bucs. The Bucs are going to lose the Super Bowl to the Raiders. When breaking down Bo Jackson, he was actually drafted number 1 overall by who? Who drafted Bo Jackson? He was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Raiders dynasty begins against a team that heard Bo Jackson against the Bengals, and they will win the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 1986. The next championship for Vegas was not going to happen in LA. It was going to happen at Las Vegas, which is the significance of the 1986 draft. Bo Jackson was not going to help the Raiders win the Super Bowl. He was going to hurt his hip against the Bengals. It's hip that has gematria of 24. Bengals has gematria of 24. But take a look. The rabbit hole doesn't stop right there. Bo Jackson is born at Alabama. He played at Auburn Tigers, Cincinnati Bengals, Tigers, contrived injury. Born at Alabama. Henry Ruggs went to Alabama before joining Vegas, before his DUI incident. The Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl 38 years later. Bo Jackson, 38 regular season games in a Vegas, in a Raider uniform during the time in LA. A total of 18 touchdowns in the regular season. This is the first 18-week season that the Raiders' last Super Bowl came in Super Bowl 18, their last Super Bowl title. 38 games played. Super interesting. 38 years later, the Raiders win. Bo Jackson's regular season record is even synced up with this. It truly is amazing. Now take a look. Bo Jackson wore number 34 in his career. It just so happens to be the gematria of Henry DUI in the next win against Burrow. Burrow has gematria of 34. The amount of time from the John Gruden resignation to the win against the Bengals, 4 weeks and 6 days. This is gematria of Chicago when we go up into the calculator. Chicago has got gematria 46, but take a look. Notice that the 2001 Patriots season began against the Bengals, and that's when the Raider dynasty is going to begin, is against the Cincinnati Bengals. It would be 34 days until John Gruden's resignation to the... This is the 34. This is about the bleeding stops right here after 34 days. The crash still happened 1 month and 3 days later. This is gematria of LA. This 34 is the gematria of Burrow and Henry and DUI. The decline ends right after the game 34 days later. That's the whole significance. Now, the amount of time from John Gruden's resignation to the next victory, to the beginning of the Raider dynasty, is 41 days, also 42 days. 41, like I said, is the gematria of Super Bowl. This is exactly 6 weeks, close to 6 weeks after John Gruden's resignation is when the Vegas Raider dynasty begins. 41 days later, the gematria of Super Bowl. Now we'll start to see the Raiders play like a Super Bowl team again. The Washington email scandal also ties into this. It's owner Dan Snyder. Washington Redskins has gematria of 85. I wonder what email scandal equals. The NFL has all the answers. NFL has all the answers, and quote by Mark Davis. 85 days later, after the game against the Bengals, is the Super Bowl. 85 days later. Again, the last championship occurred against the Washington Redskins. This is the whole significance of the Raider dynasty beginning 85 days before the Super Bowl. The NFL does have all the answers. They're taking care of Mark Davis. The Raiders lost, but notice how the Broncos lost, and the Chargers lost, and notice how the Bills lost to the Jets. Notice how all these other teams lost. Notice how the Patriots lost to the Chargers. They're planning something special for the Raiders. The amount of time from September the 13th to the win against the Bengals, the start of the season, is 70 days. 70 is a gematria of Henry. Can they win the AFC without Derrick Henry? Even without Henry Ruggs, they can win the title over the team without King Henry. King Henry is Derrick Henry. No Derrick Henry, no party. The next win since the Ruggs incident, 19 days later, it's owner Mark Davis. Davis is gematria 55 and 19. Mark Davis. Notice something. It don't mean that the Raiders are going to be 5-5. It means that the Cincinnati Bengals are in free fall after losing to the Jets. The Bengals are going to be 5-5. The Bengals are just the Bungles again. Oh my God, we beat the Ravens. Oh my God, we beat the Ravens. Lose to the Jets, get crushed by the Browns, and now lose to the Raiders. And just maybe then the Bengals will be lucky if they beat the Niners and the Steelers. It ain't happening this week. Mark Davis gematria means Bengals are 5-5 because the big game is coming up on Thursday for the Raiders. 5-day time span, 2 wins. Perfect sequence. Not only is it Davis that's gematria of 19, but one of the 2 tenants of the stadium, the LA Rams, gematria of 19. This is how we know the dynasty begins. Because Derek Carr is at 185 touchdowns for his career. Book of Revelation is gematria of 185. Los Angeles Raiders is gematria of 183. He had 183 touchdowns before the game. City of Inglewood, gematria of 182. Derek Carr had 182 touchdowns at the time of the bye week. At the time of the bye week, his touchdowns was 182. In City of Inglewood's the next championship since 1983. But this all doesn't stop right here. The Raiders won the lawsuit against the league in 1983 because John Gruden has sued the NFL. This is the other big news. John Gruden has sued the National Football League. He sues the National Football League sometime span before the Super Bowl. Do you want to take a guess?